Morning, everybody. Welcome to the Human Services Committee meeting. Okay, we're going to call it to order, and has everybody read the minutes of September 28th, 2022? We have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Okay, so we're going to go into public health. Hey, Tina. This is Lady.
Things today. The first one is we'd like to request approval to go out to bid for 2 all-wheel drive compact SUVs. They would be 100% covered under our COVID grant. So I'm just looking for approval for, we have spoken with County Admin and DPW about that. So we would be giving up 2 of our, right now we have fleet cars. So we'd be giving up 2 of those fleet cars and purchasing 2 of our own all-wheel drive vehicles under the grant. So we're just looking for approval to move forward with that.
Quick question, sustainment of those vehicles, maintenance over time, how is that done? If you're turning in your fleet car,
So I believe it's still done through DPW.
there'll still be a fleet car. So it's just trading off the type.
Yeah, and under the scenario, usually they don't have money to buy cars, so it really helps our car pool. They would still pay the rate, the large rate, because they're gonna be replaced by a carpool car eventually. So they would pay in for the replacement cost. So that would be at the new 67. So,
I'll second it.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Sure.
Yeah.
And I did have a conversation with Tina just to be aware that lead time on the vehicles is a little sketchy these days. So she'll be monitoring so a lot of the grants require proof of payment before the end of the grant. So this bid might, they might even look at dealerships that have the vehicle on the lot so that we can take delivery in time to make the grant deadline. So we have spoken to make sure that she, because right now cars could be anywhere from 3 months to 18 months, and we don't want her to miss out on the grant money by taking delivery after the grant close date. So we spoke.
and what is the grant close rate?
March 31st.
So it's,
You might have done. So those.
I mean, is there any stipulation against paying and waiting? Not something we normally do, but it could be a discussion if it comes to that.
We have a precedent.
And Fran has spoken with DPW and given them that deadline. Didn't foresee it being a problem for that type of vehicle.
Yeah, with the compact SUVs, they seem to be more available. Like a pickup truck or the bigger size SUVs. So.
I just think that's an option if it gets ugly. Sure. Absolutely.
So all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Things are just informational. The flu vaccine, we do have that available in our office. We are offering an employee clinic tomorrow, which is full at this point. And so if there are people that are still looking for their flu vaccine, we still do it on Wednesdays in our office. So just give us a call and we can get you set up for that. But we're happy that is full tomorrow. The next one, our COVID clinic. We are holding a COVID clinic for the bivalent booster, Moderna, on November 2nd at the firehouse, the Kingsbury Firehouse. That's from 2 to 6 on November 2nd, and that link is out on our website, so you can get registered there. It's about half full at this point, so just recommend doing that if you have interest in that. And then the last thing that I have, we would like approval to bring on an intern for the spring semester. It's a gentleman that goes to University of New England right now. He's learning his master's in public health. He is from Washington County. So we were looking to get approval for that, to move forward with that, bringing on that intern.
Need a motion on that?
Thank you. Second. Any discussion?
Is this a paid intern or an unpaid?
Unpaid.
Okay.
And I'll follow that up with, make sure that you talk to Danielle, because the rules have significantly changed.
Okay.
on Unpaid interns,
Okay,
what they kind of.
okay. All right.
from a liability perspective.
They literally cannot do the functions of the job. If you follow the new guidance for interns, they're actually more of a burden than an asset, but it's an asset to the student. So you have to be very careful how you use an intern now. The rules have drastically changed.
And we're looking at this as a recruiting tool. Yes.
So it's an educational and recruiting tool. But the days of having an intern sit down and dead answer for you are long.
Did you have a question?
No, those two covered it.
That was quick, right?
And then some.
So any other questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Martina?
That's all I have. Unless there's any questions for me.
No others?
That was all of
That's
it.
all I have.
didn't bring one.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck with the intern.
Oh, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Lori, filling in for Mike. And we would like permission to recognize an additional amount of funds from New York State OCFS for runaway and homeless youth funding in the amount of $39,696. And then we would need permission to contract with the Wake House, which is the homeless youth shelter, for a total amount of $87,556.
So we'll start with the 39,696. Recognize that? Jane?
Motion to move it. Second.
Any questions on that? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then permission to contract with White House
For the total amount.
for the total amount of 87,556.
How long is the contract? What is,
It's for 1 year,
for when
It's
you're
for-
starting next year or starting right now?
starting right now. It would be starting right now.
Okay.
Um,
And so 39 doesn't cover all that, or are they even related? I guess,
Correct.
is the first question.
We had anticipated a smaller amount that was already in our budget. So the additional amount makes it a total amount of 87.
So the resolution form says it's January 1st. That's actually starting
The
January 1st.
January 1st.
Yeah, the
Oh,
question,
this year.
Yes,
yeah, the question is, was it in the budget? The answer is for a lesser amount.
for a lesser amount. We anticipated we kept it the same as what we had received last year. And so this was an additional amount,
Which was,
which was the 47,860. It was quite a jump. We were surprised, to be honest with you.
So what your contracting will be done by the end of the year, or it will just roll over and continue the work, even though it says through 12/31 of this year?
Oh, so the contract starts January 1st of this coming
current year,
of,
according to this. 22.
yeah, your resolution form. You're looking at.
oh, sorry. I only got this.
Yes.
I wasn't,
That's what we're
Sorry.
referencing.
To our attorney. Reference it, and I realized it was there either.
Every so often I do serve a purpose.
yeah. A renewal of the contract, right?
So it hasn't been in place, so I don't
It's
know.
been in
So it's
place.
gonna be a year, or this is catching you up with what you owe them. That's what I got.
No, it's not catching us up what we owe them. Will be what we reimburse them for the future.
So is it, so should it be
Should be 23. probably.
23?
Yes, that is what I believe. It would be 23.
Then we don't want to do a budget.
You know what?
We want to do it in the new year.
If it's going to be spent 23, it's got to be recognized. Can't do that.
So if we move it to finance, we can be assured that whether it goes forward or not.
These are very good questions.
Yeah.
Well, you can do it one of two ways. You can have Mike come back in January, or you could amend.
Well, unless it's
amend it.
22.
Okay,
If it's 23, then you can't do it.
Right.
Sorry, Jim.
Sorry, no, that's okay. We just got to figure out whether it's 22 or 23.
which I believe it probably is 22 and not 23.
We can send it to finance and sort it out.
So that's why I said, send it to finance and we'll sort it out.
Thank you, because I know the next step would be that it would need to be approved by our youth board to allocate the funding. And I think they've been waiting for the allocations to come out. So,
With
I
only
know,
2 months
it's
left in the
very
year,
new.
it would be hard to spend in 2 months, I would think. It's possible.
right. Yeah,
Because
not as.
if it's contract, my own question, if it's a contract and you're already into that contract year, they suck it up. You have a contract already signed at that amount, that's the sad fact of the contract, even though you got escalation of costs.
But if we didn't go forward with it because it was further or a bigger cost, that changes things too. So now what is it really cover? We'll just sort that out, I think.
Well, and also you remember that we contracted with Warren County. Is that this part of what?
That's not part of, that's,
This would be strictly.
this would be
our side.
just the Washington
It's just-
County supporting the runaway homeless youth pass-through dollars from the state, and the state just
We
approved.
whether it's
the dollar
going to
amount.
existing contract.
So I suspect it's for 2023, but we need the confirmation. Move the finance.
Yeah.
Motion to move finance, I'll second.
Any other questions?
I can just ask, so would this be an amendment to the current contract with White House, or is it a new contract?
It would be a new contract for the total amount of the,
Okay, so
87,000.
what we'd want to do then is ask the committee if they can, or would like to waive the procurement policy. So you want to request a waiver, so we don't have to go out for RFP.
Because there was 20,000, she'll need a waiver for.
Yeah, I'll move that.
I'll second that.
Any other questions on that portion? So we've got 2 motions on the table.
Well, let's deal
Deal
with,
with moving the
Oh.
finance first.
Right.
And then you can determine whether you want to
Thank
move
you.
the.
So all in favor to move to finance?
Aye.
Aye. Second motion is,
The waiver.
the waiver. Okay, so we got first and second, any questions?
Aye.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
all right, thank you. I just learned a little something there.
We'll try to make it easier on you.
Make sure you
Like,
think Mike
it'll
when you
be
see him.
simple, whatever, and I'm like, all right. So now I can just go research all of those questions. So I'll know for the next time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Tell Mike, thanks.
Thank you.
I know, I do. So.
Thanks.
You took over the team.
So
Sorry.
we have mental health, but Rob York is not going to be here today. And so what we have is a request for a resolution for community service board appointment of Jennifer Hogan. Unless it goes.
So Rob did include a little information that Jennifer Hogan is a resident of the town of Greenwich. She's a lead health home care manager for AHI and previously worked for HHHN. She's active in several collaborative meetings that they're involved in. She's a vocal advocate for children and families impacted by behavioral health issues.
Who's making this recommendation?
Community services.
Community Services Board.
And this is to fill the unexpired term from January 1st, 2020 to December 31st, 2023 for Lisa Mead, who is, she has resigned.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Any questions? Did you?
No. I'm getting a signal from alcohol.
So all in favor? Sammy is also at a seminar. And so if Gina wants to come up and we'll review some of it and then we can go right into the. Thanks, Gina.
Good morning, everyone. On Tammy's behalf, my understanding is that everybody should have received the home energy assistance program, I think, guidelines.
This was these tiers kind of went up there. didn't they? Eligibility guidance is
They
expanded.
do, they change annually. And hopefully this document serves as a resource for everybody here in the room. You can use this for your constituents. So this is really a reminder that keep season
starts November 1st. You'll see here, kind of broke it down by eligibility requirements, the grant amounts, and then of course, later on, January 3rd, you have the open emergency season that starts as well.
How many clicks does somebody have to do on the county website to kind of get to this information? But how deeply embedded is it? I don't know. I didn't go, only because, you know, when you look at access, I'm not gonna remember this. I don't carry this around in my pocket. I know we're gonna have a lot of residents that are gonna qualify for this and they're gonna need it. And, you know, just if it's kind of not buried too deep, if we could create a link to it, it's a little bit kind of on the banner.
Absolutely.
The administrative page again?
On the main page of the website.
Yeah, so
page,
it's
yeah.
easy for residents to see and get to.
Yes. We can also, I've been speaking on behalf of the Office for Aging website, have this right up front. So when people, they don't have to go any further. And they can have this right there available to them.
Yeah, I gave this to my town clerk. We're gonna put it on our site too, but just want to make sure
Yeah,
I can reference somebody. Hey, go to
sure.
county site, go to Office of the Aging.
I'll have it right there
Right-
on the
right
front of
there.
our page.
Super, thank you.
Because there has been change. So
Yes,
It's gonna be a big deal. this year.
and I think the way the market is, it's gonna put people to really need to take advantage of this.
Initial question, it's 4.
4 clicks, that's a little deep, but
I'm sure we
Single
can
digits.
remedy that. I'm sure DSS can do the same as us and we can figure out a way to have this easily accessible.
For your IT folks that are savvy, the link that you jump from your town page can actually be sent to that 4th click. So
Right.
you can go directly from your click to directly to the page.
okay.
So you can have the link embedded on your page can be directly to that 4th click, not the 1st click. So there's that to help your folks out.
Next time.
There's a reason the link could be put on the front page. We have other links, other places, so that could be right on the front page.
It's getting very busy, but yes, it can.
I don't think the link is right up there.
Well, maybe priority wise, oh, something on this magnitude.
It may be higher priority.
Yeah. That's a good one, I've seen it.
Work our magic.
Welcome.
It's actually very.
Let's just fix it up on the front page.
No, we-
Yes, please.
We're gonna leave that there.
And most certainly on the back, it's just some additional information, different components that are also fall under the Home Energy Assistance Program guidelines.
any questions for Gina on any of that? So that's what we're going to do with social services. Now we want to go into the budget.
So now I'm standing before you as representative for Office for Aging. I'm not sure if everybody received, it looks like everybody has received the revised bylaws. Excellent. So there were some edits made to the bylaws. I've been working with our advisory council since June to really update them and to reflect what the council is doing. And also just to add verbiage around like using social media to make announcements as far as when the council meets. So within the bylaws themselves, we do have a stipulation that they are approved by the Human Services Committee, which is why I'm presenting them here today for approval, and also to ask if it is approved for the chairwoman to sign.
Can you give us the headline for what you've changed?
Absolutely. Going through the pages. One item that I did on the very top is added the original date of the bylaws here for 2001, and then added the revision dates that wasn't on the original set. We added that because it just gives us clarity to know which ones are actually active. On the second page, we added in the membership section, one liaison from the Washington County Sheriff's Department, because they are such a huge component of our nutrition program. It felt beneficial to have a member from the Sheriff's Department appointed to the advisory council. Right below that, there was a section that we moved under the officer section, which I'll share with you as we progress through the document. The council did remove a section under membership again. We had previously, there was a stipulation in there that if a voting member failed to attend 2 consecutive meetings, that it's brought to the council for review. This was something that was put in with a prior council membership. And when I brought it to the attention that it really wasn't happening, that the council members weren't holding each other accountable, then it was basically agreed to remove that section. Under the meeting section, again, I mentioned in terms of providing public notice, there's a sentence within that first paragraph. We add where notice of each meeting will be published in the local newspaper, posted on the Office for Aging website, and or using the Office for Aging social media. On page 3, my apologies. Going back to page 2, on the last paragraph, we had in there, in the previous bylaws, presence of 9 voting members shall constitute a quorum. We revised that a tad. We still require a quorum, but defined what a quorum is. And here it stipulates a quorum is defined as the presence over half of the appointed members. Now moving on to page 3. Under the regular meetings paragraph at the top, we added language. Here it says in the original on the first Monday of each month. And we did add in unless the first Monday of the month is a holiday, or if the vote takes place to hold the meeting on a different day. So we added that in there to give us some wiggle room as far as scheduling the meetings. We also added meetings will be facilitated either in person or virtually as determined by the director of the Office for Aging prior to the meeting. This was added given our experience during the COVID pandemic, where we weren't supporting gatherings, and we actually facilitated meetings virtually instead of in-person gatherings. And then the last sentence was also added, the director of the Office for Aging and the council president reserve the right to change a meeting platform, format, location. We added that again, because if, for instance, right now we're having gatherings, but tomorrow we say we need to pause that, then that gives myself and the president of the council the right to say, hey, we need to switch this to another platform. For the order of business, we just added in a couple things. On number 1, we added sign-in sheet. The number 2 call to order was also added to the order of business, and then number 8 action items was also added to the order of business section. On page 4, under the officers section, I did move from that previous front page, only members age 60 and older are eligible to hold office within the council. That falls in line with the New York State Office for Aging recommendations for advisory councils that are being held at local levels. That is it for page 4, as well as page 5. And of course, on page 6, just updated the names.
I have a question. So back under the revision dates. Copy that I have says 8/10/22. Not sure what that is. Some process.
Yeah.
So should that date actually be today? Because that's the date it's approved. That should now be
That's a good question.
as of today.
I'll ask.
That would be the revision date would be today. It would be signed by yourself and the chairperson.
Sure.
So was 8/10 maybe the day that your group
Yep,
revised it?
Correct.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know which one the answer is.
I don't.
I think the actual
You're right.
revision date, Dan, you can correct us on this if I'm wrong, but would be the date that they were actually approved. That's correct. Just keeps it current for the next thing you have to do, that's all.
Should match David's signatures.
Right.
Thank you.
Jan, I have a quick question just on the form requirement.
Sure.
So if I'm doing the addition right, there are currently 14, 17 to 20, 21, 25 voting members. I would remember one. This is how many are actually appointed. I guess that's what I'm trying to figure out. Where am I?
26 members, 14.
Is that the intent? Yes, that's my question.
I guess my concern is making sure that you don't have a quorum of with majority of non-voting members. Then you're technically not able to conduct business.
Right, so you've made the number bigger. Is it harder for you to get a quorum? Or is this so that you can always, if it increases in size, it just changes with it? Would that be?
So, the verbiage around having a quorum was in the original bylaws. And the council did have a lot of discussion over it. It was felt to keep the terminology in there of a quorum because we weren't sure if we could remove it, honestly. So most certainly I value her experience in that and would accept any recommendations.
Yeah, so I guess my question is, were you having problems getting a quorum when you changed it? Or you wanted to represent if the size of the board changes, you want that to always change according to the size of the board?
So we would want it to change according to the size and appointing members. And yes, when we were holding the virtual meetings, we did not have a quorum. So there were several items that would always get rolled over to the next meeting because we didn't have the number of people present to be able to pass the vote.
So now it's gonna be harder though, with the quorum being at 14 than at 9, that's. I don't know how you do anything about it, because you're gonna have a quorum.
Well, I guess I'm just, what I wanted to clarify was that are there other appointed members other than voting members? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then I don't know.
The people who are appointed are the voting members.
Okay, because sometimes that can be a little confusing.
So it's not the exact wording, but we at Regional Planning Board have two types of memberships. One is voting members, and only voting members serve as a quorum.
We have ex officio members.
Yeah,
Ex officio members
which usually
are still
was
members.
They used to.
Right, man, that's what I'm trying to emphasize there, in organizations I've been, we have, advisory members, voting members, in the form of voting members.
Do you want to strike the voting membership and just put the membership the council consists of? And then down below, you have what constitutes a quorum and vote. Right, we're defining voter membership for that whole block.
Right.
On the top, correct.
Is it better to quantify membership as membership and then voting membership distinctly different?
Or even.
Well, I think you just change the appointed to voting.
Right, because that's defined.
Right. You're being consistent that way.
Right.
I'm sorry, Dan, I missed.
And your second line, the second paragraph of meetings, instead of saying over half of appointed members, just say over half of voting members.
Right, change appointed to voting and you're.
Then you're good.
Then you're being consistent with
Okay.
Article 1.
If your intent is to have everybody listed up on the top of the page, be a voting member,
Correct, and appointed
It says
as
they
well.
well, so are they all appointed?
Yes, the individuals listed above would be,
17, 2, 1, 1, 1, and 4 are all appointed by the Board of Supervisors.
correct.
Okay.
However, we don't have all 17.
And what he's suggesting on the bottom paragraph is change appointed to just voting and then consistent with language.
Okay.
Do both or
Okay, so do both.
it's up, whatever. you-
I would say just change appointed to voting because
Okay.
then there's no question if you have other.
Because the only way to get there is to be appointed anyway.
Right.
I'll do that.
Gina, is there a list of the membership in your terms somewhere? Do you-
They go through resolution. So yes, I have that.
Okay.
And I have a copy of all the resolutions. Appointed members.
Yeah, so and just for clarity, from my perspective, are 17 individuals, are the ones listed below subsets to 17? Up in the
No,
top.
they are separate. So
They are separate. So, but on that one, that first sub-bullet, you characterize them as being appointed. The other descriptions, you don't clarify that they're appointed. That's why I asked the question.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I was like, oh, I just assumed only the 17 were appointed, and these other ones were by,
Understandable.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if that helps clear that up, if you just say the appointed / voting members. That's why I was saying, be consistent with the top to the bottom, however you want to characterize their service.
So my thought would be, because I believe that I have. To make it flow, I'm wondering, do I add appointed at the top or do I remove? Because they are, all these individuals are appointed in this section.
If
So-
they're all appointed by the Board of Supervisors, but the voting members of the council, comma, appointed by the Board of Supervisors, comma, shall
Shall
consist of the
consist
following. And then
Then there's no question.
And we appoint all 26, although it says one's designated by you. But that designation still comes through our appointment. That-
Still done by resolution, she said.
Okay.
Correct, yes. They're done by resolution.
So technically, all 26 are appointed by the board.
And I didn't get that when I read this.
I appreciate your level of detail. I've read it so many times.
And that's how you.
Yeah. that's-
So thank you.
Well, that's a problem when you write something, you read into what you mean instead of what it really says sometimes.
Any other questions or thoughts?
No, I just, you know, if we can make that consistent, then with no ambiguity there, we're all set. Then we know we've got to get half of the appointed members.
to get it to 14.
Okay, so,
So moved. Now that we've got it all amended, it's your part, go back together.
okay, so there was a question around the order of business on page 3. So thank you for bringing that up. I probably need to add some clarity to it. So on number 11, when it says open, that is not, that doesn't mean open the meeting. That actually meant open for the council members, whoever is present in the room.
Discussion.
Yes, so I can add open discussion on that.
Might help just to clarify it.
Absolutely.
Which we listed as new business, or whatever.
So yeah, this would be great.
Any other thoughts? Okay. You have a motion on the table by Brian. Joe, did you say?
Yeah, so
Any other questions
with the
for the amended?
appropriate adjustments.
Sure.
As amended.
Would you like me to bring it back? to next
As long as-
committee, or-
I don't think I need to see it again, as long as the lawyers are good with it. We have
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very
It's a
much.
lot of work. I appreciate it. Okay, let's see. Back to. Okay, is there any other business for anyone?
Just wanted to mention on behalf of the commissioner, since she isn't here today, that she does have a foster parent recruitment effort that is taking place next month. There's been a media release and you'll be hearing more about that. But obviously the whole idea is to try to recruit foster parents, which are much needed in the county.
I saw that email.
And other things to think about is probably all your communities have food pantries, which are hurting with getting shelf, tomatoes, potatoes, all that shelf stuff. So maybe just put it out to your communities that now's a good time to support your local food pantries because they're not able to get it as easily as they were in the past. So that local support means the world. Okay. So any other business? Okay, we're adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.